Ever pour your heart and soul, I mean, really pour it all into a research project, only to, have it meet with crickets? Like, you spend weeks, months even, digging into data, talking to users, polishing that report until it practically sparkles. And then, poof, maybe someone asks for the executive summary, or worse, it just vanishes into the abyss of their inbox, never to be seen again.
Oh, tell me about it. It's a struggle, isn't it? This disconnect between all that research effort and actually making an impact.
Totally. It's like we're speaking different languages sometimes, research versus real world.
Hmm.
And that's actually what got me so pumped about this U.S. researcher, Jenny Bullock. She's doing amazing things. I mean, she works with some big-time clients, but she's also, like, cracked the code on making research fun and, more importantly, impactful.
Yeah. And what really strikes me about her approach is it's not about, bombarding people with more data or those super fancy charts. It's about a shift, as she puts it, from content-centric to experience-centric. It's like we design user-friendly products, so why not user-friendly research, right?
Yes. So good. It's like we need to treat our stakeholders like users themselves. We've got to figure out their needs, their preferences, how they best take in information, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. It's about making research feel less like this chore, this task on a checklist, and more like everyone's on this journey together.
Love that. So in this deep dive, that's exactly what we're tackling. We're taking Jenny's webinar,
Yeah.
enhancing insight impact, and giving you the need to know, those golden nuggets that'll make your research actually matter.
And a huge part of that, one of Jenny's biggest takeaways, is before you even think about presenting your findings, you need to really understand your audience. I'm talking about your stakeholders.
Oh, for sure. Like, just as well as you understand your research subjects, right?
100%.
It's like putting on your detective hat, right?
Yeah.
You have to channel your inner Sherlock and figure out, okay, what's their history with research? What does it even mean to them? Because for some folks, it's all about those cold, hard numbers, the data, the evidence. But for others, they connect more with the stories, those qualitative nuggets, the human side of things.
Exactly. And that's where things can get tricky, because if you assume everyone speaks the same research language, it's like a recipe for miscommunication, missed opportunities. We really have to tailor how we communicate to resonate with how they make decisions. Are they data-driven, more intuitive? Maybe it's a mix of both.
Right, right. And then there's that age-old question, how much information is too much? I mean, can you really expect, say, a busy executive who's got a million things on their plate to wade through a massive 100-page report, even if the findings are, like, revolutionary, groundbreaking?
Right. That's where I find Jenny's bite snack meal framework so helpful. It's genius, really. It just acknowledges that everyone has different information appetites. You know what I mean?
Okay, I love that. A research buffet. I can get behind that. So break it down for us. What are bites, snacks, and meals in the world of, research insights?
Okay, so picture this. You walk into this research buffet, right? Some people, they beeline straight for that main course, the meatiest part of the research. But others, they're more into sampling a little bit of everything, seeing what tickles their fancy.
Or maybe they're just there for the dessert.
Exactly. And that's okay. So bites, those are your quick hits of insight. Think like a powerful user quote that just, bam, hits you right between the eyes, or a surprising stat that makes you go, wait, really? Something easily digestible on the go, Snacks, now those offer a bit more substance. Maybe it's a synthesized theme that emerged from your research, something with a bit more meat on the bone. And then, of course, you've got your meals. Those are your comprehensive reports, your deep dives for those who really want to, roll up their sleeves and dig into the nitty-gritty.
It just makes so much sense. Not everyone has the time or, let's be honest, the appetite for a 5-course research meal, no matter how much we, as researchers, might want to serve it up.
100%. And the cool thing is, Jenny doesn't just stop at the buffet, She's got all these ways to actually serve up those research insights in a way that really sticks. Like, she's big on making research tangible, collaborative, not just some solo mission,
Oh, totally. Getting everyone in on the action.
Yeah, exactly. And one way she does that is through these things she calls synthesis workshops.
Ooh, workshops.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm always up for a good workshop. It's so much better than just, sitting there passively being talked at, right?
Right. It's about getting your hands dirty,
Yeah.
And Jenny talked about how she likes to use these workshops, especially early on in a project when you've got a team that's chomping at the bit to dive into the research. They don't necessarily want to wait for a super formal report.
So it's like a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Totally. A research sneak peek. Imagine you walk into a room and there are canvases everywhere, but instead of paintings, they're covered in raw data. quotes from user interviews, key observations, those aha moments, And then Jenny, she guides the team through these activities, these exercises, to actually turn that data into those golden nuggets of insight.
I love that. It's so visual, so hands-on, so collaborative. Talk about a way to get everyone on the same page.
Exactly. And because everyone's in it together, right, they're part of the analysis, they internalize the findings in a whole different way. It's not just the researchers' insights anymore. It's the team's shared understanding.
Which I bet makes a world of difference when it comes to actually getting buy-in, right, for any recommendations that come out of the research.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. Okay, so another technique Jenny talked about, and this one really caught my attention, is this idea of an insight wall.
Ooh, insight wall. Okay, picture me like red string connecting clues, photos of users, that kind of thing.
Kind of, but less, crime procedural and more inspirational. Think of it like this. You're transforming your workspace into this living, breathing hub for research insights. So it could be an actual physical wall, whiteboards, even a digital space, if that's more your jam. But the key is to have this dedicated spot where you're constantly showcasing those key findings.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Right, so maybe you've got this really powerful user quote, just like smack dab in the middle where everyone can see it. Or maybe it's a user journey map showing how people are actually interacting with your product. Anything that helps tell the story of your research.
Yeah, keep research top of mind, right? I love it. Especially now that so many of us are like hybrid, going back into the office a few days a week. Having those visual reminders around could be so impactful.
Exactly, because out of sight, out of mind, right? But when it's right there in your face. So it keeps those insights front and center. And the cool thing about an insight wall is that it's not static. It's always evolving as the research progresses. You can add new stuff, update old stuff, even use it as a space to brainstorm solutions together.
Totally. People can be walking by, they can be like, wait, what's that? Tell me more.
Right. It sparks those organic conversations. It's like research osmosis.
I love that. Research osmosis. Okay, so we've got video updates, synthesis workshops, this very cool insight wall. What other engagement gems did Jenny drop?
Well, remember how we were talking about the bite snack meal framework?
Yes, the research buffet.
Well, Jenny actually had a bunch of ideas for catering to those different appetites for information. So for those folks who are like constantly on the go, always running from meeting to meeting, she's a big fan of sharing those like top line findings, those bite-sized insights via Slack.
Oh, smart. Meeting people where they are, right? Delivering those quick, digestible nuggets, kind of like research TLDRs we all wish we had.
Exactly. And she told this story about how in one company, these little snippets of insight started spreading to other teams because people would like tag their colleagues in Slack, be like, hey, check this out. This is relevant to what you're working on.
That's awesome. It's like research going viral, but in a good way, not the misinformation kind.
Exactly. Now, on the other hand, Jenny also pointed out that for bigger, more complex projects, it's usually a good idea to use a combo of different methods just to make sure you're hitting all those different preferences and needs.
Right. Don't put all your research eggs in one basket, or however that saying goes. Mix it up, a little bite-sized here, a dash of full meal there.
Exactly. Find the right recipe, right? And she emphasized that it's not about finding the one right way to do things. It's about being open to trying new stuff, seeing what works, and not being afraid to adjust your approach along the way.
Yeah, totally. What works for one team or one organization might not fly somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's about being flexible, adaptable, all that good stuff.
100%. Okay, one last tactic that Jenny mentioned, and I thought this was pretty brilliant. Using quizzes.
Wait, quizzes? Like trivia night, but for research insights. Tell me more. This sounds fun.
Oh, yeah, it's not like a full-on trivia competition.
Okay.
But it's more about framing those takeaways, those key insights as quiz questions.
Okay.
It could be true or false, multiple choice, whatever,
Yeah.
It just makes the information stickier somehow.
Right.
It's like sneaking those veggies into a smoothie.
I love that. Sneaking in the good stuff.
You're learning, but it doesn't feel like,
Like a chore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, like medicine.
Right.
So let's say you've got some findings about what users prefer.
Okay.
You could present that as a multiple choice question.
Yeah.
What do our users prefer? A, B, C, D.
Gotcha.
And then you have a little discussion about it.
Right. What's driving those preferences, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about getting the right answer,
It's about the why.
Exactly. It's about sparking those deeper conversations, getting everyone on the same page about what it all means.
I'm really seeing how all of these techniques, they all kind of work together.
Right.
They create this multi-pronged approach
Yeah.
to really get people engaged with the research.
Exactly. And while those quizzes, they're great for like sharing those interim findings
Right.
or even just getting people initially interested, Jenny did say they shouldn't be your only deliverable, obviously.
Right. Got to have that main course at some point.
Exactly. Think of it more like a,
Little appetizer.
yeah, like a little teaser trailer.
Okay, I like it. So much good stuff to digest here.
Right.
Where do we even start? It's exciting, but also like, whoa, I got to revamp my whole approach.
Well, remember how we were talking about like how Jenny approaches this whole thing as a design project in itself?
Right.
She emphasized how important it is to really understand your organization's culture
Okay. Yeah.
because what works at one company
Yeah.
might be a total flop at another.
Yeah, for sure.
So, be open to experimenting,
Try new things.
see what sticks.
Iterate.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
The perfect recipe for your team, for your stakeholders, for your research.
100%.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, is there like one big takeaway you hope our listeners, really take to heart from all of Jenny's wisdom?
For me, beyond all the like specific tactics, the frameworks, all that good stuff,
Yeah.
what really stuck with me was that core message of like shifting your mindset
Okay.
from content-centric, like here's the information, bam,
Right.
to experience-centric.
Oh, interesting.
It's not just about what you're sharing, but it's how you're sharing it.
Make it an experience.
Exactly. And that little shift, it can make a huge difference.
Make research fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make it something that people want to be a part of.
Love that.
Yeah.
So to all our listeners out there, we have a little challenge for you.
Ooh.
That's
Anybody-
one small change you can make, like starting today, to make your research more impactful.
We want to hear all about it.
Hit us up on social media, let us know. And as always, happy researching.